Hey there, folks.
Hello.
Welcome to Advisory. I hope you are all doing well. Couple of announcements first. Well, the softball intra squad game should be today at 5 p.m. if the weather permits. So I think Coach Stout is going to make a call on that at noon. Right now, it's not looking great, but just keep your ear to the ground on that. If it's happening today at 5 p.m. And if it gets rescheduled, we'll let you know. But I'll tell you what's happening, rain or shine, and that is the pickleball tournament. Not this weekend, but the next weekend, April 12th, 9 a.m. check in, and you got to pay $25 per player to participate because it is a fundraiser. And our tennis team works really hard to put on a great tournament. You can see some of the pictures here from years past. It's really, really fun. Sign up today. And the final thing here before we get started on the main course is I want to talk a little bit about chess. Have you ever played chess? Do you know how to play chess? Have you ever been interested in learning how to play chess? I personally love playing chess. I think everybody should learn how to play chess, even if you don't get good or anything like that. It's just a very good activity for your brain. And we have a chess club here on campus that is open to people that don't know how to play all the way up to people that play a lot. Some of them are going to a chess tournament this weekend with Mr. Herbert. But to learn more about our chess club here on campus, I sent out our advisory student correspondents to get the scoop.
Now for the promo.
So, Mr. Herbert, why do you like chess?
I like chess because it's mentally challenging. You're solving a new problem every 5 seconds. You get to learn from your mistakes and you get to grow as a competitor. It teaches respect for your competitor. There's a community to it. It's a very self involved game. Like, you can know that you made a mistake and improve upon that the next time.
Who do you think the best player in your chess club is?
The best player in my chess club is whoever's here consistently and wins consistently. And here consistently and winning consistently right now, um, he thinks it's him. He thinks he's the best right now. That could be true. That could be true. Jude, Michael, and this guy also are pretty good. On any given day, they can all beat each other. On any given day, they can all beat me. I'm not that good at chess.
You learn as you go, and the more you learn, the better. I love the experience. Me personally, I've gotten really good over chess throughout time because of chess club, but I'm like one of the best, so like I'm not gonna lie, well, probably the best, so yeah.
How do you
Uh,
prepare for tournaments?
just a lot of training, a lot of practice on and off the board. You time yourself, practice against people who are actually better than you. Then you get a lot better. Practice your openings, your defenses. Yeah, just practice. Practice makes it perfect. That's it.
How do you stay calm during such an intense moment?
I like to breathe in and out. I've done it multiple times. It really does help, and you can't let the pressure get to you really, because then you're gonna start panicking, and you know you're screwed. Your whole game's messed up. You know.
I just think chess is a very fun game because it's a mental game. So I think it's pretty fun to play against other people who are also.
I always thought of it like as a sport for smart people. At first, I didn't understand it, but once I started playing a lot, then it turned out to be fun. I mean, yeah, people say it's like for smart people and like nerds, but I mean, who cares, to be honest? I like it, It's pretty fun.
Chess team is on Wednesdays in H305. There's usually plenty of snacks. There's plenty of competition. I look forward to seeing you here. No experience required. We'll teach you everything you need to know, and we'll have a good time.
That's pretty much it.
That's it.
All right. Thank you to our student correspondents. If you are interested in chess or learning how to play chess, talk to Mr. Herbert. Come to a chess club meeting on Wednesday afternoons. It's open to everybody, and it's really fun. All right. So the main thing we are going to be talking about today is the concept of friendship. Ever heard of it? We all have friends. We all have at least acquaintances or people that we talk to, people that are in our lives that are not our family. And right now, especially in high school and middle school and college, around these years where you are becoming an adult and figuring out who you want to be, friendship is an essential part of how we grow and how we become that person. So we're going to talk a little bit about friendship today, and I'm going to show you a couple of videos first to talk about the actual science behind friendship. We're going to talk about what friendship can do for our brains and what it takes to be a good friend and make and keep good friendships. Before that, I want to review these discussion questions that you'll be talking about after the video. Number one, what are you going to hear from these videos about how friendship affects our brains? Number two, why are friendships during your childhood and teenage years so important and special? Number three, how can talking to new people and making new friends build your self-confidence? And they're also going to talk a little bit about conflicts with our friends and how to deal with those in a healthy way. So number four is, when you experience a conflict or problem with your friends, how can it help to talk through your feelings with them? So those are the things that you're going to be writing about or discussing with your advisors. And then after that, as a class or in groups, I want you to write a list of qualities or characteristics that you appreciate in your friends. What are the good things that friends give us? And then once you make your list, I think we'll all see that there are several things that good friendships have in common, and I want you to notice those. To start this discussion off, we are going to be watching 2 short videos from TED Ed about friendship. The first one is called How Friendship Affects Your Brain. Think about those first couple of discussion questions as you watch this video.
Friendships can hold an exceptional place in our life stories. What is it about these connections that make them so unique? Before we dive into the science, let's first observe one in action.
If I could somehow design a best friend, put together all the ideal qualities of my perfect match, that person would pale in comparison to Priya. She can turn any situation into a good time. Chemistry lab, band practice. What I'm trying to say is, I never laugh harder than when I'm with Priya. And she's always there for me. Like last year after I got dumped by Tit. You know what? I don't even want to mention their name. It felt like my whole world was crashing down. But as soon as I told Priya, boom, she was at my door. I was a wreck, but she sat there with me and listened. We're always on the same page. It's as if we can read each other's minds. And we can talk for hours about anything. I know my mom would say she has the phone bills to prove it.
If it seems like friendships formed in adolescence are particularly special, that's because they are. Early childhood, adolescent, and adult friendships all manifest a little differently, in part because the brain works in different ways at those stages of life. Adolescence is a unique time when peer relationships take focus, and thanks to the developing brain, there are changes in the way you value, understand, and connect to friends. Teenage friends can seem attached at the hip. Scientists describe adolescence as a social reorientation, as teenagers begin to spend as much or more time with their friends than with their parents. This drive to hang with pals may be due to changes in the brain's reward center, known as the ventral striatum. Its activation makes hanging out with others enjoyable and motivates you to spend more time with them. Neuroimaging studies show that this region is highly reactive during your teenage years, which may explain why adolescents seem to place a higher value on social interactions than children or adults. Teenage friendships can also feel more intimate than the friendships of your childhood. This deeper connection is possible thanks to improvements in what scientists call theory of mind. Theory of mind is the ability to understand others' emotions, thoughts, motivations, and points of view, and to realize that they may be different from your own. While it may seem intuitive, this ability hinges on the careful coordination of various brain regions, sometimes referred to as the social brain. Babies begin to develop theory of mind around 18 months or so. Before that, it's thought they believe that everyone perceives and knows exactly what they know. It was once considered to be fully developed by age 5, but scientists now know that theory of mind continues to improve and mature well into your teenage years and beyond. Likewise, regions within the social brain show increased connectivity during adolescence compared with childhood. As a result, teens can better understand their friends' perspectives, allowing for deeper connections to flourish. In the closest friendships, it can almost feel as if you're metaphysically connected, two bodies and minds perfectly in sync. And there's science to this. Your ability to connect with others somewhat depends on the coordination of actions, emotions, physiology, and thoughts. This is what psychologists call interpersonal synchrony. You first show signs of the ability to sync with others as infants, synchronizing movements and babbling with your parents. As you get older and spend more time outside the home, you increasingly show this synchrony with your peers. For example, imagine walking down the street with a friend. Often without consciously thinking, you stroll at the same pace and follow the same path. You and your best friend may not be only on the same page, but also scientifically in step.
Yeah, so as we grow away from our parents, grow towards our friends in very similar ways. Maybe you've experienced this to where you are so in sync with your friends, you start talking like each other, you start thinking like each other, maybe even acting like each other. That's all a great part of growing into our own person, is actually growing with others that are doing the same. So let's look at this other video. It's called How Some Friendships Last and Others Don't. But think about those last couple of questions while you watch this video about how making friends and keeping friends and talking to new people can build our own self-confidence. And they talk about how to maintain a positive, healthy relationship or a healthy friendship, which we've talked about ourselves. But let's see what they say.
In a 2008 study, psychologists asked participants to rate the steepness of a hill. Those who were accompanied by a good friend judged the hill to be less steep than people who were alone. This is just one of many ways friendships can change how we see and move through the world. Friendships can boost our academic performance, help us deal with setbacks, and even improve our health. And the relationships we form in our childhood and teenage years can shape our beliefs, values, and emotional growth. It's clear that friendships are important, but making and maintaining friends isn't always easy. Let's start at the beginning. If you struggle with approaching new people, you are far from alone. In a series of studies, participants had conversations of varying lengths with strangers. Afterward, they were asked to estimate how much they thought each stranger liked them. Across the board, participants rated their own likability much lower than others had actually rated them. Scientists dubbed this tendency to underestimate how much others enjoy our company as the liking gap. So before meeting new people, it may be helpful to psych yourself up and remember that others like you more than you think. You may even want to enter these conversations assuming that the other person will like you. Known as the acceptance prophecy, psychologists find that when people expect to be well-liked, they often unknowingly come across as warmer and friendlier. And the more new people you meet, the more confident you'll likely feel. In one study, people who talked to just one new person each day for a week reported feeling less afraid of rejection, more secure in their conversational skills, and more excited to meet new people overall. Next, what's happening when relationships grow from casual acquaintances to confidants? Psychologists have identified two key features of more intimate friendships: companionship and closeness. Companionship is defined as the rapport or understanding that blooms between people with similar hobbies, interests, or values. Sometimes just being in the same class or team is enough to build this connection. And companionship has many benefits. It's been shown to improve self-esteem and increase our resilience to stress. Closeness, on the other hand, looks different for every relationship. It might mean supporting each other through difficult times, or feeling comfortable sharing your thoughts and feelings. But not every friendship has to get deeply personal, especially at first. Simply telling a friend about your day or sharing your interests can help build closeness. While every friendship develops on its own timeline, consistency can help, which can include sticking to plans, chatting regularly, and remembering the things that are important to each other. This holds true even for long-distance friendships. Chatting and texting can keep these relationships strong, as long as they remain intimate, trusting, and consistent. Yet even the closest friendships hit rough patches. This is especially true for teenage friendships, when people often navigate different types of challenges for the first time. For example, there might be a situation that puts two friends in competition, like applying to the same college. One might betray the other's confidence or make a hurtful comment. And these relationships can also falter when one person feels unable or unwilling to support the other through challenging situations, like breakups, illnesses, or personal tragedies. The most surefire way to deal with rifts is to talk about them. These conversations can be tough and awkward, but if they're approached in the right way, they can strengthen friendships in the long run. Before these difficult conversations, try to remind yourselves to show up without judgment. Avoid getting too defensive or making accusations. Instead, share how the situation is making you feel, and invite them to do the same. Some friendships naturally come to an end. Others change. Whether new buddies or lifelong pals, all friendships can benefit from building healthy habits. And it's never too late to make a new friend. In fact, it's good for you.
It's good for you. Friendship is very good for you, right? Especially healthy friendships. Now you can go ahead and go to this next slide with all these questions, and don't forget to make a list as a class or in smaller groups of qualities and characteristics that you appreciate in your friends. What makes a good friend to you? Enjoy that discussion. Have a great day. Be good to yourself and others, and I'll see you tomorrow.